Good googly moogly. It is hot outside, guys. Like, holy freaking mackerel? Can I say that? Like, boy golly, it's burning up. It's burning up. Like, this the type of heat that you just get home and immediately want to lay down. I got off work today and I was like, I don't think I want to do anything else. I don't think I want to be a part of humanity anymore. I think I just need to lay down and rot, you know? Like, I want to become one with my couch. I just want to morph into my couch. Like, it is crazy out there. It is crazy. But, like, I asked for this. I did ask for this. Welcome back. If you're coming back, this is the I'm Doing This Okay podcast, hosted by yours truly, Angel Clade, where I'm talking about the things that I'm doing. And last week, I did talk about how I was calling Mother Nature out for being a prude, for making it so rainy and not letting us have bikini season. And she fought back because she's like, Angel, I hear you. I hear your pleas, and we're gonna make this a living hell. you know, and that's crazy because I described the rain as hell, but now we're actually in it. Now I'm suffering just a little bit, but it's okay. I like it. Pool days are with us now. It's great. It is great. Um, I am filming at nighttime today. So let's see how this goes because we all know. Well, y'all don't know because y'all didn't see it. But the morning pod had to be like wiped from the face of the earth. I could not film in the morning. And now today, I took a 5-hour nap after work because the heat wore me out. And we're filming this at 10 p.m. Woo! Nightcast. Nightcast. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I cooked a great dinner. Is this riveting information? I did cook a great dinner though. It was so good. And I was like really pushing off cooking. Like I I think I might not be being as food safe as I can be, but I only cook for myself, so it's okay, right? Like I had like food thawed in my fridge for probably a little too long, like raw meat thawed in my fridge for a little too long. But I was like, okay, this is the last day, the absolute last day I have to cook this because I kept pushing it off and just like getting fast food. But I was like, I have all the ingredients. I just need to cook it. And so I did. I did, and it was great. And so that's what, now I have leftovers. We just need to do that. We just need to force ourselves to cook sometimes instead of going out at all hours of the night. That's what my mom would say. She'd be like, why are you out every single night? Because I can be. Because I'm grown. Actually, I have been more inside. I told y'all I was gonna have an outside summer, and this podcast is about doing things. Yes, but I have been inside a little bit because I got sick last week, as we discussed. If you were here last week, yeah. So I've been inside a little bit, but I'm trying to get back out there because I'm better now. So I'm better, and so the streets should fear me. The streets should fear me because I'm coming. I'm coming with a vengeance to make up for the time lost. I am. I am. I am excited, guys. Okay. The world is shattering beneath us. There is lots going on, and we don't have to get into it, but something today happened that restored my faith in humanity. Just a little bit, okay? And that is, I got to hang out with a 13-year-old girl. I haven't been around one of those recently. And I was thinking that this upcoming generation, Gen Alpha, was like doomed, like totally and completely doomed because I hear the horror stories. I have friends who are teachers. My mom's a teacher, and I hear all the bad things about them, but you never really hear the good things. And I got to hang out with a 13-year-old, and I'll say I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, I gave her control of the aux, and it was so great. I think I'm just a girl's girl, but also like she was 13 and she was playing the hits from my childhood. Okay, she was like playing like We're Gonna Die Young by Kesha. Riptide, Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus, like OG Katy Perry. You know, Katy Perry before she decided she wanted to be an astronaut. You know, that type. Like it was like I was so proud of this generation for knowing the classics. You know, like we need the teens to listen to teeny bopper pop, and I didn't think that there was teeny bopper pop nowadays. Like yeah, she was listening to Addison Rae too, the Diet Pepsi song, and also Benson Boone, that guy, the Moonbeam song. Um, it also made me realize how I think I am just still a child because I knew all the songs. Benson Boone, why do I know that? Why do I know who that man is? You know? And I thought not being on TikTok made me like very offline and like music trends. Like I'm very slow to knowing what music is trending because I also don't listen to radio, and I feel like a lot of trending music comes from TikTok nowadays. But I was tapped in, you know? Like I didn't really like Benson Boone. I don't really love him. He's not my cup of tea particularly. Um that man can flip though. That man can flip. I'm scared for his knees. I am scared for his knees. He keeps doing the flips, and he's bound to get some tendonitis or something. I don't know. He is. Benson Boone needs to chill out before his knees break. Um, but yeah, I was very proud of myself for being in tune with the girly pops, the young girlies. And also I was proud of her and proud of the youngins for staying in tune with the classics, you know? Like I was really worried because we talk a lot about like children now not having how do I want to say this? They're not having resources to be a child. That's what I'll say. You know, they're going straight from like childhood things to watching like streamers like Kai Snat be mean to women online. You know, like and that's the boy side of things, you know. And then like girls are going straight from like girlhood playing with Barbies to now they're listening to Sexy Red. You know, which is sure, you know, whatever you want to do. But that's how I thought it was. But apparently, there is this gap where the kids are going back and listening to the classics. And I just hope that is the same for everybody and not just this one 13-year-old that I met. I don't know. I don't know. I need to hang out with my cousins more, my little cousins, to see what they're getting up to. And honestly, I remember first when I first realized that this upcoming generation was exposed to much, much more. I was hanging out with my little cousins a few years ago, and my cousin, she was probably like, I would say she was probably like 10 at the time. She's probably 10 at the time. And I don't remember what the context was, but she knew what, trigger warning, trigger warning for sexual assault, but she knew what rape was at like, and she used that word. Maybe I was just very coddled though. I don't know, because it is good for children to know these things, these harmful acts. But I was like, it was jarring to me at the time how she knew what this was and also the correct terminology for it. Maybe I'm just dumb though. Is that bad to say? But I think it wasn't the context in which she said it. It wasn't in a way where it was like, okay, I am talking about this situation because I'm trying to like advocate or whatever, or I know what this is and I know it's a bad thing. She was like making a joke or something about like as long as he doesn't rape her or something like that at like 10 years old. I think that's what it was. And that's why it caught me off guard. Because not only do you know what this crazy thing is, but you know it in a context that isn't suitable for your age. And I believe the only way you would know that is by being exposed to that on the internet. And I don't want to diss just this upcoming generation, because I know people who are my age who talk about like watching like beheading videos online when it was like very early internet, and there's still like car crash compilations or tornado wiping complete cities that people watch that for enjoyment. I just think it's crazy that we're so jaded to what we're consuming every single day, you know? I think it is kind of interesting. And I'm such a nerd. I am such a nerd. But I can't wait to see what the internet has as an effect on society and an effect on our psyche in the years to come. You know? Like I can't wait for it to be like 2070 and then put out studies about how the internet is affecting us now. It'll be quite scary how the internet is causing all of us to slowly lose our minds, you know? But it's all good because we have Moonbeam ice cream and Benson Boone, you know? And that's all we need to have a good time. That's all I need. That's all I've been saying my whole life. I need Benson Boone. I've been saying that since the birth. I think his name is very interesting, Benson Boone. I wonder if that's his real name or if that's a stage name. It always takes me a minute to get into the groove of like talking to myself. I feel like the first 15 minutes of the pod is never great, but then once I get into it, I get in. I get in. So I don't know if you're listening past the 15-minute promo mark. Thank you. Love you. Love you down dearly. Dearly, dearly, dearly. Okay, I was thinking though this weekend. Okay, last week I was talking about how my goal was to be a boat girly. I didn't achieve that goal. Not yet. I have not been on a boat yet. Maybe somebody will invite me on their kayak, but have not been on a boat yet. But I did go to the pool. And when I went to the pool, I had this revelation because I realized that I had never been to the pool with the bros. You know, like all my pool days have been with the girlies, and that messed with my mind a little bit, guys. It did mess with my mind a little bit. I think it's hard as somebody who has like the ideal body type. Ideal, I'm putting in air quotes if you're just listening. Um, no, but I think I am. I don't think that should be air quotes. I think a lot of people like idolize what I look like because I'm skinny. And I think that makes it hard to approach talking about like body image. Oh, this episode is getting deep. But it does make it kind of hard to talk about body image because people like just like write off what you're saying. Um, and I definitely know, and I don't have to say this because there's a nuanced conversation. I know that people in bigger bodies face more hardships, of course. But it was interesting for me to realize how my viewpoint of my body changed when I realized that I was going to have to go to the pool with guy friends instead of girlfriends, you know? And I did bring this up with my guy friends, and I'm still I'm trying to pick out how I want to approach this conversation because their immediate thought is like, oh, we're not looking at your body. And like, of course, I know nobody's looking at my body. Nobody's like actually cares. We're having fun. And although we say that, still there's part of my mind that's like, oh, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. And nothing matters. We're just having fun. But I do care, you know? And maybe this like being a Scorpio. I don't know astrology, but like I feel like that's people say that about Scorpios. They be like, I don't care, but they do care. Um, but yeah, it's hard to like dismantle some of your insecurities around your body, definitely, especially when you're in such an exposed position as being in a bathing suit where you're hot, you're sweaty, you're wet, and you're wearing just your loins, you know? I'm just wearing my loins around these people. That's crazy, you know? So I was like dealing with some insecurity when I was getting dressed for this whole event. Cause I was like, and then people were asking me, they're like, "Oh, do you think that your guy friends are gonna check you out? Like, are they trying to like look you up and down?" And it's like, no, I'm not saying that. Well, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that. I don't think that. I just think it is in my mind. I was like, why am I trying to decide what bikini to wear right now? Like, I wanted to wear my tiniest bikini because this was my first tan of the summer. What can I say? And I wanted a full tan. But I was like, if I put on this little baby, little small little bikini, will my guy friends be like, why is she wearing her G string? I don't have a G string bikini. I'm just saying, for example, you know, would they be like, ew, why is Angel wearing her G string bikini around us? You know, like, is she really trying to be a hoe, you know? And I guess it doesn't matter, you know? And that's like slut shaming. And then it's like, fuck those guys for even like thinking that. But on the contrary, I didn't want to put on like my most full coverage bikini. Cause now it's like, okay, does she feel like she has to cover up around us? Does she feel like she's not comfortable in her body? And they're probably not thinking this. I don't think anybody cares what I'm wearing. I know that they don't care what I'm wearing. But in my head, before I was getting dressed to go to this pool party, I was like, I don't know which bikini I can wear around these people. You know? And I was also telling them, I was like, it was weird for me because I never had brothers. So I don't know the dynamic of being around guy friends, really. Even all my cousins, I have all sisters. All my cousins are basically all girls. All I've grown up with is girlies. The girly pops. Love y'all down, of course. Which is crazy that I don't have that many girlfriends anymore. Like, that's crazy to me, guys. Like, I have so many guy friends just recently this year, and it's it's actually good because it's like challenging my internalized misogyny. I don't know. My internalized patriarchy. I don't know. It is like challenging my mind because I'm like, okay, I don't know how to navigate this. Is that crazy? I don't know how to navigate having guy friends. And I have guy friends. I've had guy friends. I have guy friends from like middle school, high school. But like, it's different than just like being surrounded by mostly men. Okay. And then, yeah, I think definitely like being in the pool brings up lots of insecurities. Of course, I remember this example. I'll get to tell this story. I once, it was like in, I think, senior year of high school. I also had the same thing where I was invited to a pool party, co-ed pool party. Ooh, fun. Co-ed pool party. Fun stuff. But I was invited to this boy-girl pool party senior year of high school. But growing up, I go in and out of wearing like different bathing suits. But at the time in high school, the only swimsuits that I had were like tankinis, which, if you're somebody who does not know what that is, I don't know if I'm over explaining this, but it's like a swimsuit that's basically like a full tank top and swim bottoms. Yeah, I feel like everybody knows that. Whatever. Um, but yeah, the only swimsuits that I had was tankinis. And I remember being in 12th grade, and I was like, I cannot show up to this pool party senior year of high school in a tankini, because what if I'm the only loser wearing a tankini swimsuit? What if everybody has graduated to a bikini? And I was wearing bikinis. Like, growing up, I wore bikinis and tankinis, but at the time, that was all I had. So I was comfortable in a bikini, too. But then I go to this pool party, and literally, I am the only girl wearing a bikini. And it was a little skimpy. I'll be honest. I still have it. It was a little skimpy. I still wear it. It did have a lot of under boob, but it's cute. It's cute. Maybe I should wear that next pool party. But yeah, I remember being the only girl in a bikini, and then I felt insecure because now it's like, look at her being a whore, you know? And nobody's probably thinking that. Nobody's thinking that at all. But of course, it's just like, it's when you stand out, you feel weird. Yeah. And so, preparing for this pool party this past weekend, I was like, I don't want to be the one standing out again. And I did not know how to do that surrounded by all guys wearing swim trunks. You know, I was like, should I put on my swim trunks? I do have swim trunks. Maybe I should do that. But I didn't. I wore the bikini and everything was fine. And I think it's also heartwarming for me to like be surrounded by these guys and express my emotions and say how I'm feeling, and then to be accepting of that. You know, of course they were like, girl, shut up. You know, they were like, girl, shut up, but in the friend way. And I love that. I love my friends. And I'm so glad that I found them. So that was a fun time at the pool last week. Shout out to the guys and the gal, the one other gal who was with me at this pool event that we threw together. Also, fuck men. I've been dropping a lot of F bombs recently. That's fine though. Men do not know how to plan an event. Okay. Okay. This was it was kind of my event. It was kind of my event. I kind of was the one who's like, let me go to your pool. All right. But I just wanted to go to the pool. All right. Then Abby, who is the one who I went to his pool, he was like, oh, let's make it a pool party. And he invited other people. Cool. That's great. I'm fine with other people. I was cool with other people too. But then I show up. I'm like, all right. Before I even go, I'm like, should I stop at the store? Should I get drinks or something like that? Because when I throw a party, of course, you gotta provide drinks. You gotta provide, and especially at a pool. Like, people are thirsty, bro. Thirsty. People get hungry after the pool. The best part of going to the pool is having Dorito fingers afterwards. You know, the wet, soggy Dorito fingers. That's what we want after a day of the pool. But I didn't really have the time to go to the store or anything like that. And also, I was like, this isn't my house. So I didn't think I had to provide the snacks. I didn't think I had to provide the drinks. But I show up with the stuff that I had left over from my parties, which is 4 bags of chips that are expired and like 3 sodas. And I pull up. I get there. He has nothing. I'm calling him out. I'm sorry. I'm calling you out. But it's so like, and then he's like, well, this is your thing. You wanted to go to the pool. I wanted to go to the pool by myself. I did not make this a whole event. I was like, do you want to go to the store? He's like, nah, it's fine. We could have went to the store. We should have went to the store because we had nothing. We did have nothing. But it was cool. It was still fine. It was a good time. And then we went to a gay Republican's birthday party and ate all their food. Happy Pride. Happy Pride. But I also did want to continue talking about body image, um, because I think it's interesting being a comedian. A comedian. Have y'all seen? Sorry, that doesn't make sense if you're not reading it. Have y'all seen when female comedians put comedian? I'm saying like COME. Now I'm spelling, and it's almost 11 p.m. and I can't spell comedian out loud. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up, and I'm not. But okay, they end comedian with ENNE. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay, I started spelling, and now we're off the tracks. All right, I never said I was good at spelling. I don't think I ever said that I was good at anything. No, I said I was good at everything. I did say I was good at everything. All right. Um, but anyways, it is being a female comedian because people are looking at you, of course. And a part of being a woman in comedy is a little bit desirability. It is a little bit. It does play a part. Um, and I can talk about like being a woman in comedy and how that affects getting booked and stuff like that. But I want to talk about specifically being a woman in comedy and how you present yourself on stage. Because I have been also asking myself this. Because when I first started comedy, I would literally never get on stage without eyeliner or eyelashes. I would never touch the stage without eyeliner and eyelashes because I just wanted to look pretty. But then when I moved to Atlanta, I started doing mics and shows literally almost every day. And so at that point, it didn't even make sense to me logistically to put on makeup every single day. Because it's like, bro, I do not care that much. I don't. Not for an open mic. Not for an open mic where I have 3 minutes of stage time and I'm going to bomb. Regardless if I have lashes or not, you know? So I stopped putting as much effort into how I looked for open mics. But for shows, I still like to get pretty dressed up. Um, and dressed up is relative, of course. But I do like to put my best foot forward. Like, I definitely like to give like first date vibes when I get on stage. Which first date vibes for me is usually like jeans and a nice top and a little bit of makeup. All right. But I've been asking other women about this since I've started, and some other people. And by other people, I mean gays and women, because I think it matters most for us of what their opinion is on getting dressed up to be on stage. Because like sometimes it gives, okay, she's trying too hard and now we're just looking at what she's wearing instead of listening to the words that are coming out of her mouth. And it's also like the Matt Rife effect, where if they're too pretty, people like don't think they're funny because they think that they're just too pretty to be funny. And that is not my opinion on Matt Rife. I don't have an opinion on that man. I did watch his special. And of course, like some jokes were funny and some jokes weren't. Like that's everybody, you know? I don't know. I don't have a true opinion on him for real. He has his moments, of course. But I think people like undercut how talented he is because he's a pretty face, which also he gives just like average white man for me. But you know, people think he's pretty. Like he's definitely like what men think is attractive, what straight men think is attractive. You know, like how straight men think like Chris Hemsworth or whatever that man's name is. I don't know, one of the Chris's. I don't know these white men apart, okay? They think the Chris is one of the Chris's is like the peak standard of male attractiveness. And if you ask any other woman, they're like, that man is just white man, you know? Which some people might say that about my type, but it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have a type. I don't have a type. I don't have a type. And if I did have a type, he would not be a white man. Okay? I'm putting it out there. Can y'all tell I'm trying to like throw stuff in there because I feel like this episode has been too serious. Okay, but anyways, body image. Yeah, so like I do try to get dressed up a little bit on stage. But I've heard that some women or female presenting people do the opposite, where they purposely wear like baggy clothes, they purposely dress down because then they feel like they look less intimidating, and therefore people will actually care about their jokes rather than how they look. And with that being said, I haven't tried that for a show. I haven't tried like pulling up to a show in my sweatpants or not wearing makeup or anything like that. Well, I think I've not worn makeup before. But anyways, I still feel cute. Because I know personally that I cannot perform at my fullest if I don't feel like I look my best. And I don't see how people do that, you know? Like, because confidence comes from external and internal for me, at least. You know? Look good, feel good, you know? And also, a thing about comedy is like, I hate that this is a thing. I hate that how you look plays a part, but definitely, like, how you look is part of your act, you know? If you look like a goth alternative baddie, you know, we're thinking that your jokes are going to be a little darker, a little bit edgier, of course, you know? If you look like, you know, really hot shit, I expect you to address the fact that you look hot, you know? I think that makes sense because stand up is who you are. And so I don't see how I could be true to who my character is on stage. Character is also in air quotes if you're just listening. Um, or who I am on stage, because if I'm wearing something that isn't pretty, because that is not how I feel, you know? Like, I feel like my sets exude confidence. And even when I'm not having jokes about me being confident, I'm like, oh, I should be confident though. Like, I should be able to pull whoever I want because look at me, you know? Like, I don't know why I'm bad at dating because look at me. Like, that's the type of approach that I have to a lot of my jokes. So I don't see how dressing down would benefit me in that way. But with that being said, I've never tried it. And it's definitely interesting to see because you can tell when people are just looking at you rather than listening to you. You know, they're just smiling and nodding along. Ooh, like, you know, like, and it's, I don't want to be, I don't want to be oogled and ogled at, you know? Not necessarily. I guess it is part of my character to be like, oh, I'm so fine, look at me. But also I try to craft my jokes where I hope that people are actually listening to what I'm saying and actually care, you know? Like, I remember one time somebody commented or complimented me, and they were like, you just radiate energy that we just want to always have around. And I love seeing you at open mics and on shows because of your energy. And that's that type of compliment that I like, you know? But then it's also like, is it my energy or is it my titties? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I thought it was a joke. But no. It's just like, you definitely deal with people who are only looking at you. I'll give y'all another example. Once I was doing a roast battle and I was going against another female comedian. But the judge of this roast battle was very obviously attracted to me because he said it into the microphone during the roast battle while he was judging in between each of our roasts. And he was very like aggressively like hitting on me through the roast, through the microphone on stage. And of course, this made me feel uncomfortable. But you know, you try to laugh it off because we're literally like performing in front of like sold out crowd where we're trying to have fun. But it's like at the end of the roast, he gave me the points and I won the roast. But I don't think I deserved it. I don't think I got the most laughs. And I was talking to the other female comedian about it afterwards. And we also agreed like my roasts were not good enough to have won the round. And this sucks for two reasons. One, of course, it sucks to be like just like sexualized while you're trying to perform. And he's supposed to be judging me off the content of my jokes, and instead he's just judging me off my body because he wants to hook up with me later, you know? And two, it sucks because I was going against another female comedian. And so now you're only pointing out how hot I am in contrast to somebody else. And that felt even more worse for me because now I feel like I was going against my friend. I feel like I need to be like, sorry, friend, that he talked about how hot I was, you know? And of course, it's not on me. It's definitely not on me. But I just wonder how she felt. And I don't know how to approach it. Be like, did that make you insecure? Because I feel like that would be weird for me to call out. Like, did you feel insecure when he was talking about how hot I was and not how hot you were? You know? But it definitely is interesting to see in such a male dominated industry. Especially when I think, and this is always the thing, men don't have to think about this. Men don't have to think about how their boobs are sitting. You know? Well, some men do. You know? And I talked to a lot of my different female friends about this, and one of my other fellow comedian friends, she was saying like she noticed because she lives in a curvier body that she has to dress more modest on stage, or else jokes completely go over people's heads, like they're not listening at all. Um, and so she dresses modestly, but she also still dresses cute. I haven't talked to anybody yet who just completely dresses down, because I think also like Atlanta is a very like cool city, and so a lot of the women that I talk to all look nice, all look lovely, and so I haven't talked to anybody who does the opposite of the spectrum. But I did talk to some trans women about this too, and it's like how their experience is definitely, of course, like exemplified, and now they, of course, have to do things before they get on stage that feel gender affirming to them. So they're like forced to dress up. And I guess that goes into a lot of like transphobia and a lot of the trans struggle, which I don't think it's in my place to talk about. But I thought it was interesting perspective coming from them, and maybe I'll have one of them on in the future, talking about how they wish that they didn't have to like curl their hair before they get on stage every single time, but they know that that is what's going to make them feel the most euphoric in gender expression, and also euphoric in their performance, because without that they don't feel like themselves. And I guess that's how I feel in the same way, like without eyeliner, for example, I don't feel like myself on stage. And that's definitely a bit of an extreme. Like I definitely can perform, and I have performed without eyeliner. Like that is not my crutch. But for example, like if I was wearing sweatpants, I would never wear sweatpants on stage ever. I have for open mics. Also, I don't know, I have a weird thing about my toes being out on stage. I would never wear sandals on stage. And that's not even on like no free toes type deal. I just, my toes out, I'm exposed. What else do you want to see, you know? Like that's too much. That is too much for me. So yeah, it is interesting being a woman. Being a woman 2025. It's hard out here. What did Logan Paul say? Hot take, but being a woman is hard. I don't know what he said. He said something like that though. I think he said like hot take, but women have hard lives or something. I don't know. Somebody correct me in the comments. I feel like my voice is very groggy. Since it's so nighttime. Since it's so nighttime. That's a sentence. That is a sentence. It is so nighttime, guys. It's definitely so nighttime. Okay, let's hop into my favorite segment. I'm doing this now. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing this now. I'm doing this. What am I doing this week? I don't know. What am I looking forward to this week? I. Oh, okay. I don't have anything for this week, but my light cut out. I go through this every episode. When am I going to learn just to switch the light bulb out? Okay, now my voice really sounds bad. Hold up. I think it's out for good, guys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not watching the video, I've been struggling with this light just turning off whenever it wants to. And I think it quit for good now. Okay, but I'm doing this now, okay? This week, I am looking forward to. I don't know, guys. I'm just doing a lot of comedy. I don't think I'm doing anything besides comedy this week, which is crazy. Oh, here's an update from last week. Last week I was talking mad crap on my apartment building for not having their pool open, but now, as of today, the pool is open. So maybe I'll get to go to my pool this weekend. Also, this week, I guess I'm doing this now. I am going back to. Oh, I don't know how I like saying this. I always feel weird saying this. Nobody kidnapped me. Nobody kidnapped me. Nobody please kidnap me. Please don't kidnap me. Oh, there's a light. I think that's a good sign that I won't be kidnapped. Um, but I do live alone. But recently, I've been having a friend stay with me for like the last few weeks. And this week, they're on a trip. He's on a trip. So I get the house to myself, which is great. I so badly miss living alone. Like, I loved my friend, but I needed this. So I'm doing this now. I'm living alone again because I needed the peace. And he wasn't even that bothersome, but it feels much different coming home and knowing that I could immediately like just take off all my clothes, you know? Also in doing this podcast, I realized how much I hate wearing clothes in my house. I'm not wearing pants again for the audio listeners. I am I'm not wearing pants. And I hate even like I have to put on a shirt to film a podcast. I guess that's my bad for deciding to film video too. But I like the video concept. But every single time I sit down to film the podcast, I'm like, dang, my shirt has 3 oil stains on it. I need to change. That's why I have this poncho over my shirt right now. Because I have oil stains on this shirt. But yeah, so I'm basking in my solitude this week. Even though I'm not even gonna be in my house that much. Am outside. I am outside this week a bit with a couple different shows. I'm not doing any shows on Friday. So I need to see what I want to do if I want to go out or not. But also last week I was sick, as I said in the podcast. And then I got better. I got better like after 2 days. But then I think I went a little too crazy. I think I went a little too crazy with all this stuff this weekend. Because then this morning, which has been like 3 days since I've been well again, or maybe I just stopped taking my medicine too early. I don't know. But yeah, so what am I saying? Oh, yes. So this morning I woke up with a cough again, which I didn't even have a cough to start with. So I think I need to be on bed rest a little bit, or at least taking medicine more, so I don't sound like I have a frog in my throat while I'm filming the pod. You know. Okay. Moving on to our negativity segment. I'm not doing this. Ooh, I didn't think ahead. I did not think ahead at all for this week. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. I didn't yap ahead. What am I not doing this week? I'm not doing this. Okay. I am not apologizing for my insecurities. How about that? I think that's good because as I was saying, I think it is hard for me to talk about some of the issues that I have with being insecure about certain parts of myself because I am like pretty and skinny. What can I say? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I am pretty and skinny. So I think a lot of times I preface my insecurities with being like, sorry, but this is how I feel. In actuality, I should just say how I feel. And if people can't accept that, then that's on them. Wow, we're getting so woke, so deep in this one. I feel like I should end on something fun, but that's what I have to say. I don't know. Guys, I always have more to say. I do always have more to say, which is great, I guess. That makes this easy to do weekly because I just never run out of anything to say. But I feel like I'm losing my voice. I do feel like I'm losing my voice, so I am gonna cut this episode a little bit short. Like, what happened to me? Have I been talking too much? Have I been doing too many shows? I am proud of myself this week. I went on a 3-show run on one day. I did 3 different shows, and they were all good. Well, the first 2 were fine, but the last one was great, and that's all that matters. And it was at 1 a.m., so props to me. Props to me for doing a show at 1 a.m., because that is past my bedtime. I don't know what my bedtime is anymore, guys. As I've been saying, I've been outside, and I need to figure out a good system because I definitely am not getting enough rest. But who needed to rest in their 20s anyway? You know? I think we just need to keep living until our 30s, and then we can take as much sleep as we need. I had my coworkers guess my age today. And I think I'm gonna start lying and say that I'm 27. Cause why not? I hate being 24. Like I wish I was at least 25. I hate cause it's just like, why am I in my young 20s still? My lower 20s still? I need to be in my middle 20s, my mid 20s, and then I feel like life will be great. Which is crazy because when I was 22, I remember specifically tweeting, I feel like everything's going to be perfect when I'm 23. And it wasn't. Of course not. It is crazy to see how much. Now I'm just hyping myself up though. But I am a manager at 24 of a good company, low key. I mean, they're not paying me crazy. Um, so it's only up from here. I still have so much life ahead of me, guys. And that's why I'm doing this, okay? Because I can do whatever I want because I'm still young. And I have all the time in the world to make all my mistakes and all good decisions too. I think I'm going to have a party soon. That's not what we were talking about. But I think I need to have it. So, yeah. But guys, I am so excited about this. Also, I want to say I am nearly at 50 people downloading, or I don't know if downloading is the word, or like subscribing to my podcast. So thank you to everybody who has been listening. Love you down. Love you down. Let me know if the sleepy time episode is too sleepy time. Did it get too real because I filmed this at nighttime? And all the dark thoughts are coming to light, you know? I don't know. We'll have to see when I run this back, when I play this back. Because, oh, am I flashing the camera, guys? Don't look. um, but I need to see. But yes, as I said, I feel like I'm losing my voice. So that's not good because I do have to do 2 shows tomorrow. So I am gonna end the episode here. But let me know your thoughts or not. I don't really care. Have a happy Wednesday. Love you. Bye.